Think about your relationships for a second. Are you the person people call when they want to celebrate? Or just the one they call when everyone else is busy? Today, we're diving into this explainer to decode a deeply painful, honestly kind of isolating experience, the reality of being someone's backup plan. We're going to unpack the psychology of what actually happens when you're accepted, but only after someone else was chosen first. You might think being overlooked like that made you weak, but stick with me, because we're going to explore how it literally wired your brain for a rare psychological superpower. So are you the backup plan? Seriously, think about it. It's an incredibly common human experience, yet it's rarely talked about openly. But psychology has heavily studied this. It's the reality of being the person always waiting in the wing. It's that immediate sinking feeling, right? That feeling of always being overlooked in your friendships or relationships. You know you're in the group, sure, but you're kind of just hovering on the edges, never the absolute favorite. Over time, this literally becomes your emotional baseline. Your brain slowly starts to accept this painful idea that you are just secondary to everyone else's main choices, never the priority, and never the first call. It hurts to admit, doesn't it? But hey, stay with me here, because I'm going to reveal exactly how surviving this exact experience didn't break you. Actually, scratch that. It did the exact opposite. It created an extreme form of emotional endurance and cognitive awareness that very, very few people actually possess. Section 1, reading the invisible signals. Let's start with your most exhausting mental habit, constantly reading the room. This stems from an intense hyper-awareness of social signals. Psychology actually shows us that repeated social rejection dramatically increases something called rejection sensitivity. Your brain figured out really early on that being ignored usually happens quietly. So you sense a slight pause, a forced smile, or a tiny shift in tone long before anyone else even picks up on it. This isn't paranoia. It's literally a survival response designed to detect emotional distance before it actually hits you. And this is the crazy part. What the rest of the world casually dismisses as you just being insecure or overthinking is actually your brain exhibiting advanced social mapping. You aren't just hearing what people say, you're constantly predicting what they're preparing to do next. Section 2, the fortress of independence. So, while you're busy reading everyone else, you've probably built a massive wall to make sure no one can easily read you. Early developmental psychology reveals that when emotional support is inconsistent, the brain adopts by basically forcing self-reliance. It's called defensive self-reliance. It forced you to stop expecting rescue. You just stopped waiting for validation from the outside world, because honestly, depending on it just wasn't safe. I really want to validate something absolutely crucial here. You aren't antisocial. You don't actually hate receiving help or being supported. You just don't trust it to stay. You'd simply rather carry the weight of the entire world all by yourself than risk relying on someone who might step away the second things get hard. Section 3, the overgiving trap. But here's the thing. That extreme self-reliance creates a really dark paradox. It leads to this relentless, exhausting urge to overgive, just to secure a permanent spot in someone's life. It's rooted in conditional positive regard, this learned, brutal rule that you are only lovable when you're useful. If you stop helping or stop fixing things, you feel like the connection is just going to disappear. You start confusing your inherent worth with your functional value. And man, this creates a vicious cycle. First, you hold this deep, quiet expectation that you can be replaced at literally any time. Second, to prevent that from happening, you hide your own true needs. You stay quiet. You say you're fine when you definitely aren't. And third, you overgive. You try to make yourself completely irreplaceable by giving way more time, energy, and understanding than you ever receive back. It's an exhausting way to live, completely driven by that deep fear of being just a temporary option. Section 4, your hidden psychological superpower. Okay, let's reframe all of these trauma responses, because being the second choice actually forged something incredible in you. Surviving chronic social exclusion means you've developed supreme emotional endurance. While other people might completely panic when plans fall apart or people leave, you stay incredibly calm. Why? Because you've seen it all before. You can survive deep disappointment without shattering, and let me tell you, that is a silent, unshakable strength. Because of everything you've had to navigate, your brain fundamentally reprioritizes what actually matters in a relationship. You completely reject that flashy, temporary affection. Instead, you demand intense, unwavering loyalty. You aren't out there chasing the highs. You're chasing safety, honesty, and consistent effort. This quote summarizes our core reframe perfectly. The strength you built from being overlooked makes you an absolute master of recognizing true value. To you, being someone's flashy favorite for a single day, it means absolutely nothing. You understand that being chosen every single day through loyal, consistent actions is literally the only thing that counts. Being the second choice didn't diminish your value. Not at all. It gave you the vision to see exactly who actually deserves your energy. You possess hyper-awareness, radical independence, and profound emotional endurance. So the only question left for you is this. Now that you know this isn't a flaw, but an absolute psychological superpower, whose circle are you going to stop trying to fit into so you can finally start building your own?